Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open a pretty powerful concept, a personal operating system. One that's built for a single purpose, achieving true sovereignty in your own life.
So just think about this for a second. What if you could merge the deep thinking of a philosopher with the unstoppable will of a warrior, and then add in the strategic mind of a top CEO? What would that even look like? Well, it's not just a cool idea. It's actually a framework for becoming the master of your own destiny.
And this isn't just some abstract theory. If you look closely, you can see a blueprint that's been laid out for centuries, from ancient samurai warriors to modern-day business titans. In this explainer, we're going to pull all those threads together, connecting that timeless wisdom with what actually works today.
But first things first, why is this so critical, especially right now? We have to understand the core conflict of our time. I call it the modern sovereign's dilemma.
Most of human history, we were wired for the tribe. We had these deep, unshakable bonds. Authority wasn't just given, it was earned through wisdom and courage. You were part of something. But modern life, it came with a trade-off. Sure, we got comfort and technology, but the extended family kind of fell apart. Earned respect got replaced by institutional authority demanding obedience. And we ended up as these separate, atomized individuals, leading to this epidemic of loneliness. We basically traded the security of the clan for the alienation of the crowd.
Ayn Rand had a powerful name for the person who gets lost in this modern world, the second-hander. This is someone whose whole life is about what other people think. They live for approval, not for their own values or their own work. And as Rand argues, this isn't noble. It's a kind of dependency that corrupts everyone involved. It's the absolute opposite of sovereignty.
So, how do you break free from that trap? Well, the journey doesn't start by trying to change the world outside. It starts by changing your own internal operating system. You have to fix the code inside you first.
This leads us to this really game-changing idea from Dr. Maxwell Maltz called psychocybernetics. The best way to think about it is like this. Your self-image is like a thermostat for your life. It has a set point, right? And your mind and body will work automatically, subconsciously to keep you right there. You literally can't outperform your own self-image with just willpower. If you want to change your results, you have to change the blueprint itself.
So how do you actually do that? How do you rewrite the code? Well, it boils down to 3 key steps. First, you have to do a ruthless inventory. Be totally honest about the limiting beliefs and garbage programming you're running on. Second, you use your creative imagination. You have to vividly, emotionally picture the outcome you want. Why? Because your nervous system literally can't tell the difference putting a real experience and one that's vividly imagined. And third, you start practicing new inner conversations. You assume the feeling of the wish already fulfilled. You walk around feeling like the person you want to become. Creation is always an inside job first.
Okay, once that inner operating system is calibrated, it's time to build your strategy for the external world. This is your playbook, and it's drawn from the unflinching, hardcore wisdom of some of history's greatest minds. Machiavelli asked this really tough question that every leader has to face. Is it better to be loved or feared? Now, we all want to be loved, right? But he argued that love is unreliable. People can take it for granted. Fear, on the other hand, fear is rooted in the dread of a consequence, and that is something you can count on. This isn't about being cruel, it's about a cold, hard understanding of human nature and power.
And then there's Sun Tzu, the master strategist. His principles from The Art of War are just as powerful in a business meeting as on a battlefield. He teaches that everything is about deception. You engage with the obvious, direct move, the Cheng, but you win with the unexpected, indirect one, the Qi. He also talks about putting your own team in deadly peril, because that's when they unlock their true potential. And it's not about finding perfect people, it's about combining their energy in a smart way. It's really the art of winning before the battle even begins.
The legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi takes this idea to a whole new level of personal action. He says there's no such thing as a purely defensive move. Every time you parry, you must also be striking. Every block is an attack. There's no separation. When you hit an obstacle, you don't just stop it, you use its own energy to advance your position. It's all about fluid, committed, total action.
So we've got the internal mindset. We've got the strategic playbook. How does this all come together in the modern world, in the marketplace?
Let's look at the mechanics of action in creating real value.
Just wrap your head around this number for a second. 36 to 1. That's the lifetime return on advertising that entrepreneur Alex Hormozi has achieved. That's a 3,600% return on investment. That is not luck. That is the direct result of a sovereign mindset applied to market dynamics. It's about creating an offer that is so good, people feel stupid saying no.
Hormozi's method for creating a grand slam offer is just pure strategy in action. You start by figuring out someone's dream outcome. Then you list every single obstacle they could possibly face getting there. And here's the brilliant part. You turn every one of those problems into a solution that you provide. You bundle it all up, add guarantees, create urgency. You're not just selling a thing, you're selling a guaranteed outcome. You are strategically removing every possible reason for them to say no.
So, when you combine this reprogrammed inner state, this authentic strategy, and these hard-hitting market mechanics, you forge a completely new identity. You become the warrior philosopher.
This whole journey, this whole conflict is perfectly laid out in Ayn Rand's novel The Fountainhead. You have two architects. First, there's Peter Keating. He's the second-hander. His only concern is what's popular, what others will praise. His entire sense of self-worth is a reflection in their eyes. And then you have Howard Rourke. He's the creator. His primary concern, his only concern, is the integrity of his work and his vision. He would rather go work in a quarry than compromise. His value comes from inside. One lives a life of dependence, the other a life of sovereignty.
So, look, the blueprint is there. The principles have been proven by ancient masters and modern titans. The path is clear. At this point, the question isn't what to do anymore. The only question left is, who are you going to become?